Hey, welcome to episode 2 of Talk with Tati. So glad to have you back. If you haven't watched my first video, I definitely recommend you do. It is my introduction, but I'm Tatiana, also known as Tati, hence the name Talk with Tati. So today's video, I want to try something really different but really cool. If you know me, you know I am very into makeup and I love makeup. So I'm gonna do a get ready with me, except my hair is already done. So yeah, but I did not want to struggle with my hair on camera, so I'd rather just do my makeup. This is something very new for me, so I don't know how this is gonna go, so just bear with me. So for today's video, we're gonna talk about something that I have been so excited to talk about, and that's friendships. I'm gonna sip my tea. I'm joking, it's just water, but we're gonna pretend it's tea for today. Okay, but yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. Today, I'm just going to be using this Tartelette Full Bloom palette here. It's backwards, but just pretend that's what it says. And that's what I'm going to be using for my eyeshadow. Now for everything else, I use a various amount of products. I subscribe to Ipsy, and it's a makeup sample subscription service. I think I get like 4 free invites for like a month trial. So if you really love makeup as much as I do, let me know and I can send you the invite. This video is not sponsored, by the way, which I'm sure you knew, but just throwing that out there. Right, so we're gonna talk about friendships. I've already got my face washed, I've already moisturized and everything, so I'm just gonna pretty much just go from there. So today's topic, friendships, is so exciting. Let's talk long-term friendships. So for me personally, you know, growing up in one city, you grow up with a lot of your friends and you keep a lot of your friends around. And so I have many friends that I've been friends with for 10 plus years, but I'm going to talk about why lengthy friendships can become problematic. Okay, so I feel like, you know, we have these friends that we're friends with because they've been through everything with us. You know, I've got friends who were there at the beginning of my relationship and they were there till the end of my relationship. And I feel like I've grown a closeness to a lot of people through my experience. But something I also have learned from being friends with people for so long is how people change and when it starts to become an issue. Me personally, it's very hard for me to let people go because I love with my whole heart. So when I love my friends, I love my friends, and letting them go, it kind of feels like, it just feels kind of wrong to me. But let me share an experience. So I had a friend who I've been friends with for a very, very long time. And we obviously, you know, we grew older, and as you grow older, you grow differently. I grew up with my mom always telling me that, you know, you're gonna outgrow people and it's normal and it's natural and you just, you know, you just gotta let it happen. I'm real hard-headed, so yeah, I don't take lessons very well. But so yeah, I had this friend that I was friends with for a very long time, and we had stopped talking for a little bit of time, and we rekindled our relationship recently. Said friend was always around, especially when it was time to do things. And you know, me being the person I am, I don't like to think that people are using me for opportunity. So I was just like, oh, maybe this person just wants to spend a lot of time with me, you know? And it's like, once I stopped serving that purpose of going out and having fun for them, they kind of dwindled away. But, you know, everybody has their own problems and they have their own things that they deal with in life. You know, maybe they're going through things and they're just dealing with things. And I like to give people their space because I know I need my space as well. But it kind of got to a point where I just kind of was starting to wonder, like, is it really that they need space, or is it really that I've just no longer served a purpose to them? But I just kind of decided to cut that friendship off because I just felt like I was only being used for a purpose, and when I wasn't serving that purpose to that person, they were nowhere to be found. And I do not want people around like that. And you know, it was just really hard for me to deal with because, like I said, this is someone that I've been friends with for a very long time. But at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my peace and I'm going to protect my happiness. And if that means cutting off somebody who I have been friends with for a very long time and who I love very much, then that's just what I have to do. And I just always kind of felt like the backup friend to this person, and nobody wants to feel like the backup friend. I don't care what you say. Nobody wants to feel like they're just an opportunity for someone. And I feel like it's kind of hard to let go of toxic friends, especially because they tend to be manipulative and they tend to try to change the situation and kind of blame the dynamic on you. But yeah, I'm smarter than that. I know myself, and I know the kind of person I am, and I know how I treat my friends, and that I try my hardest to make sure that I give everybody my time and that I'm the best friend I can be. And I think it's especially hard to let go of friends who have been through everything with you. I've referenced my relationship with my ex, and how we were together for so long, and when our relationship ended, of course it was very hard for me to deal with. And at the time, you know, just people coming back in my life, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh yeah, cool. Everybody's just trying to be here for me. But, you know, that's just me looking at things through a rose-colored lens. Also did not mean to go in that hard with what I just used on my eye. So I'm gonna see if I can fix it. But anyway, so yeah, I stopped being friends with that person because I think it's very important for us to remember that just because you've been friends with a long person does not mean that you should stay friends with them, especially when they become toxic and when they just become opportunist. Because, as I said, nobody wants to be the backup friend, and nobody deserves to be the backup friend. And I know I'm that kind of friend who I'm always there for people. I'm always willing to help, and I just expect at least to be treated as if I'm important to people. And I understand 100% that it is extremely hard to let go of someone who you pretty much grew up with, but sometimes we grow up and we outgrow people as well. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative reason why you stop being friends with someone. You can stop being friends with someone when the friendship no longer serves a purpose to you. I know you're probably thinking, well, didn't you just talk about, you know, friends using you for opportunity? Yes, but what I'm meaning by when a friend is no longer serving you a purpose, I mean when that friendship is no longer serving you a purpose. You know, the purpose of friends is to have people that you bond with, people that are your family, even though, you know, you're not blood related to them. They're just people that you choose to have in your life. And I just feel like when they're no longer good friends to you, or when they start becoming toxic, or, you know, become opportunist, it's time to let them go. Everyone you have in your life should reflect what you want your life to look at. And I know I've said this, and I will say this in many of my videos because it's very true, but you know, I want friends around me that are doing great things and that are trying with their lives. Surround myself with Debbie Downers who do nothing all day but complain, because I don't want my life to be negative and full of complaints. So I surround myself with positive, happy people who encourage me to be the best I can be. And it just ties back into that specific person that it really does suck, and it really does hurt that I had to let go of that person, because it's somebody that I love very, very much. But like I said, you know, I can't hold on to people who don't mean me well. And honestly, you're gonna have bad friendships, you're gonna have bad relationships, and you're just gonna have people that come into your life that are put there for a reason, and they're only temporary. And I'm content with that. I'm content knowing that. But an important part of growth is change and allowing yourself to move on from people who, as I've said, no longer serve a purpose. I think one thing that's particularly hard for me about letting people go is when certain people have done things for me and had my back in the past, and I just feel like, you know, I owe them. But let me tell you, you do not owe anything. As your friend, I am going to be there for you, and I expect nothing in return. So I think I'm going to start holding people to the standard that I hold myself to, because, you know, we deserve people who treat us the way we treat them. And I'm always a really good friend to people. I always treat people really well, and I always make time for people. And so that's why I think it is so important to let go of people in your life. And I'm sitting here because I have no idea what color I want to use for my eyeshadow. Probably should have had this planned out, but thing to learn about me is I kind of just go with things and I do things as I go. In recording this video, I kind of came to this weird like realization that I don't know why I keep certain people around. Like, that's the point of me, you know, talking through this, because not only are you getting to listen to me, but I get to hear your feedback. I get to hear your experiences, and I get to learn, like, you know, I'm not alone in these things. You know, sometimes we're made to feel stupid for giving people chances and remaining friends with people when we really shouldn't. But you are not stupid for being a good person and trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. So another thing that experience I've had, you know, I have this friend who used to do things that made my life kind of hell. And, you know, you'll hear me talk about depression. You'll hear me reference mental health and things quite often. But there was a point in my lifetime where I was going through depression really bad. And, you know, with depression sometimes comes memory loss. So I just kind of blocked out a good 2 years of my life. Like, I don't remember, like, the year before COVID and the year of COVID, I don't really remember much about. But I do remember how this particular person would treat me, and this particular person would gaslight me and make me feel like me being an emotional person and expressing the way I feel when I felt like I was being mistreated was a weakness. But if you know me, you know these days I'm very outspoken, and nobody will ever convince me that being outspoken is a weakness. It takes a lot of confidence and it takes a lot of courage to be able to stand up and speak for what you think, because a lot of the times there's people that don't even agree with me, but you know what? I don't care. This person would really do things to kind of make my life hell, and I would almost say it was like bullying in a way. But when things in my life with me and my ex started to go bad, that person kind of was there for me. So it made it very hard for me to actually acknowledge what that person had done to me and how horribly they had treated me. So I had just been hanging on to this friend. I was always there for them. And then even to this day, when I would call them and when I would need something, you know, it was always, oh, they're busy, they have this and that to do. But when they needed me, I was always there. I was always available. And that is definitely something that I think is so problematic. I am always available for people. And I just, naturally, I'm in school to be a therapist, so I naturally want to be there to help people with their problems. And sometimes I fail to remember the way people have treated me, especially in their time of weakness, because I would never kick someone who's already down. But that does not mean that I should have to put up with being treated as if I'm just a backup. And so here lately, I've just been kind of, you know, focusing on protecting my peace, letting people go, letting relationships that are toxic to me go. And I just really, really feel like it's such an important thing to do. We clean out our houses and we do spring cleaning and fix everything up every so often. So why shouldn't we do the same with our life? Now, I've said this before, but you are number one, and you owe it to yourself to protect your peace at all cost. And that's why I wanted to focus on friendships and letting toxic friendships go. I have some very valuable friends, and I have some friends who bring nothing but happiness to my life. So I don't want to just, you know, focus on the negative and pretend everything's all negative, because it's not. I have some very amazing friends and I love them very much, but I just feel like I'm always kind of the yes person. I have a very hard time telling people no, especially my friends. And I just feel like when I look back on it, it doesn't protect my peace. And I'm always preaching, you need to protect your peace. But, you know, some days I don't want to do anything, if I'm being completely honest. I work a job that's not physically taxing, but my job is very mentally taxing. So sometimes, you know, come the end of the week, I am not in the mood to be around people. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to go out. I just want to be myself and breathe. And I feel like true friends that have your best intention will always respect that. But I've had friends who don't respect that, who just act like, you know, I just flake and I just don't want to do things. And it's caused me to not make plans with people. I've become the person who I will not make plans with people too far in advance because, like I said, I never know how I'm going to be feeling. So I just try to avoid it altogether. You should not have to walk on eggshells with your friends. If you have to walk on eggshells and feel like you can't be like, hey, you know, I am not feeling like hanging out. Can we rain check? You know, they should understand. Now, I get it because if they're always doing it and, you know, then that's kind of irritated. I get it. But to a certain extent, you have to respect people's boundaries. So I live by the most annoying train track ever. And it's like the train only comes at the most inconvenient time. Definitely think it's always important to prioritize me time, and it's important to have friends that understand me time is a priority, and I don't always want to hang out. I don't always want to be bothered. And like I said, a real friend will understand that and they won't take it personal. I did not realize how hard it is to do eyeliner with my mirror down. I usually have my mirror in front of me, but my camera's in front of me, so my mirror's down. And that brings me into also having like-minded friends. So that kind of ties back into having long-term friends. Like I said, sometimes you outgrow people, and sometimes you turn to different people. Definitely not near the same person I was when I was in high school, but I have old friends who are exactly the same as when they were in high school. I'm 24 years old, and I'm doing a lot of cool things in my life, and I've done a lot of things to improve my life, and I just feel like I don't want to be friends with people who are still doing the same childish things that they were when we were teenagers. I think it is so important to have like-minded friends. Like, yes, you can have friends that have different political views, and you know, you don't have to have friends who believe every single thing and agree with every single thing you agree with. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying your friends should at least match you on some level. And I am not a fan with how thick my eyeliner is on this side, but it's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. That brings me to the part of the video that I like to call Tea with Tati. Now, this actually might be some tea. It's not to be shady. It's not to throw anybody under the bus. It's not that. It's just to simply kind of tie into what I've been talking about, doing business with friends. Something I have always been told is you never do business with friends. My family is big on Judge Judy, my mom and my sister specifically, and they always are just talking about, you know, don't do business with friends. But me being the kind of person I am, I love to support my friends and their businesses. And with that being said, I also love to support their friends and their families' businesses. But believe me when I tell you, if you really value your friendship with that person, you should at all costs avoid doing business with them and their friends and their family. So I had an experience once where I was wanting a service done. I won't be specific on what service, but I wanted a service done, and a friend recommended me to a family friend. And so I thought, you know, okay, that's fine. I've always been kind of weary about doing, like I said, giving people that I know business because I don't want it to tarnish friendships or, you know, cause problems. But I went against my better judgment and I did it anyway. So, yeah, it was good. I let this person perform the service the first time. Everything was all good. And then the second time, the person kind of, acted as if they didn't know I was supposed to be there for the service, which very much irritated me because I feel like my time and my gas is expensive. And for me to show up somewhere and that person look at me as if I shouldn't be there when I was scheduled to be there, it really made me feel some type of way. So anyway, I ended up still getting the service, but I was very upset about it because not only do I feel like that is extremely unprofessional but that person did not acknowledge that what they did was unprofessional. Okay, little side note. So when I do my makeup, I always do my eye makeup first. And if you can see that there's glitter under my eyes. And I just feel like I always wear super glittery eyeshadows. Like my bases are always browns and stuff, but my eyeshadow is always glittery. So I always do my face makeup last. I don't know if other people do this. I've seen people do it first, but I always do it last so that when I have the glitter fall, it's easier for me to get off and cover up. But I low-key kind of forgot to wipe the glitter off my eyes. So we're gonna gloss over that. But anyway, yeah, back to what I was talking about. So I just kind of felt like it was really disrespectful for that person not to acknowledge me. Now, this person was not my friend, but this was a family friend of someone I am very close with. And it just really, really upset me. And I just feel like, you know, they were supportive of me. That friend was supportive of me. And they were like, yeah, that was wrong. They didn't take that person's side just because they were a family friend. They acknowledged it was wrong. And, you know, I really love that. But that friendship could have definitely ended over that because, you know, when you recommend someone, that is your, you know, that's your word. And, you know, I know that person always has my best interest at hand, and I know that they would never purposefully put me in a situation like that. But it just goes to show you that you need to be very careful who you're doing business with. And I just really think it's better to not do business with friends, especially in a world where everybody has their own little business and their own side gigs that they're doing. Because, you know, sometimes people let it go to their head and they don't have your best interest, and you know, it's business. We got to make their money somehow. Don't get me wrong, I've had some really good experiences with friends. Like I had a friend who would do my hair for so long, and she was really the only person I trusted with my hair, but just for convenience sake I had to branch out and find someone else. But yeah, I wonder if everybody else has had the same experience with doing business with friends. I mean, that's just always a philosophy I grew up hearing. You know, you don't do business with friends or people that you're close with, or people that you want to remain close with, you know, because like I said, business is business. People have to make their money some way. And sometimes people do things like overbook so that they can maximize their profit, and they kind of neglect, you know, the customer service side of things. I'm really curious to know what everybody else's experience has been on doing business with friends. You know, would you recommend it? Do you think it's problematic? Because, I mean, I know that one experience I had is just one experience, but it kind of, I don't know. Okay, actually, that was one experience, but that's not the only experience. So, while I have you, I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, so I had somebody, I wouldn't really consider them a friend now. They were just kind of an acquaintance, but at the time I saw them as a friend. And there was a situation where they had recommended somebody to haul some stuff for me, right? You know, I get it. It's expensive to haul things, but, you know, it wasn't anything like super big. It was just some stuff I had left over from when we redid our fence. So said person told me, oh yeah, my boyfriend can do it for you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, you know, I'd rather give my money to someone well, not that I know, but you know, I'd rather give my money to somebody whose boyfriend I know. So I was just like, okay, cool. You know, how much? And the person, they just kept telling me, oh yeah, he won't charge you too much. Between me and you, one thing that I will always say is never take someone's word and get everything in writing. And if you don't, you know, you're just kind of asking for what you get. So definitely do not do like I did and just kind of accept, oh, he won't charge you too much. Because for one, not everybody's definition of too much is the same. And like I've said, not everybody will have your best interest in mind. So this person, they do the job for me. They haul everything away. They have help doing it from one of my friends that was here. So it's not like they had to do it all by themselves. All they really needed to do was just haul it away and dispose of it. So when it all came down to it, it ended up being very expensive. Like I could have hired a professional company to do it, but I was trying to, you know, keep the business within, you know, people I know, and just trying to help them help me. But not everybody has altruistic intentions, so, you know, be careful. So it turned into a whole ordeal. They expected like 3 times what I was expecting when they said not too much. And it was a very outrageous number. Like, a professional company probably wouldn't honestly have not even charged me that much to just haul things that I already had neatly packed up. It was just a few grabs. You know, I had everything good, everything ready to go. I was specific about what I needed gone. So that person ended up expecting more money out of me than what I could really afford. And so I was just kind of like, you know, I went back to the person and I was like, you know, I think it's very messed up that you would let somebody do something like that to me when we're supposed to be friends. You know, you would let somebody take advantage of my kindness and let somebody make a little extra money off of me in dishonest ways. I definitely need everybody to share their experience in the comments. I'm definitely waiting for it, because I don't know. I feel like it's something that we all have really bad experiences, but I don't know, is it just me, or does it seem like it's worse when it's with people you know? We just always assume that people we know will be good to us, you know? Nobody's gonna purposely F you over. People will, and people do. And so, you know, and those experiences that I've had, that's why I'm just like, you know, friendships should be friendships and business should be business. I don't think it's ever a smart idea to mix the two. I mean, I guess if you trust the person enough, you know, you do you, boo. But for me, I wouldn't do it again. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. But yeah, so I'm so glad that you came along this ride with me to talk about friendships. I'm always open to suggestions. Thank you so much for coming on this ride with me and listening to me talk about friendships. It's something that I was very passionate about and something that I really wanted to talk about, because I have a very hard time with friendships and cutting people off and just feeling like I generally owe people. And, you know, you do not owe anyone. You barely owe anyone an explanation. You know, if you decide that person's not for you, that's your prerogative. And yeah, so I think this is my makeup look. I'm trying to debate, should I throw some lipstick on? So I definitely think I want to do a lipstick just for the fun of it. Fun fact, so I never ever wear lipstick, and I'm trying to line my lip with this lip liner, but it's like super thin, so it's really hard. I never really wear lipstick, so there was one time where I had this really cute lipstick that I got from Sephora. I think it was like a Tarte brand lipstick, I'm not sure, but it was one of the tattoo line, like the super pigmented dark red lipsticks. I was 17 and in high school, so yeah, I probably shouldn't have been wearing something that dark, but it was really cute. But this guy looked at me and he was like, "Oh, you look like a Jezebel." And you know, back then I was 17 years old. I was really impressionable, and that really hit deep. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to look like a Jezebel. If somebody were to tell me that my lipstick makes me look like a Jezebel today, I would simply smile and just tell them, well, too bad you can't pay my price. I think my makeup is complete. If I'm being completely honest, this is a get ready with me video, but it's like, what? It is 10:13 on a Sunday night, and I have to work in the morning, so I'm really not going anywhere. I'm about to go take this all off. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you for getting ready with me, even though I'm not going anywhere. Also, I don't know how I feel about this lipstick. It's Nick Ack, New York. I don't know what the hell that is. I just found it at the beauty supply store, but it's got a very, like, my lips are sticking together, and it's like, I don't know. It just looks like I kissed the Joker or something, or I'm trying to be the Joker. I don't know. All right, I think that's definitely my cue to wrap this video up. So everybody have a great day, great night, depending on when you're watching this. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next week.